I'm here at the bike and boat camp on the Willamette River in Independence, Oregon, and I'm gonna show you my new tent I got, and I've used it for this trip a couple nights so far. I'll get the name right here because it's kind of long. It's the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL1 Bikepack. Comes with this bag, which actually I've grown to like. Here's the name of the tent there. It's a little heavy for a bag, but you know, it's designed to go on the handlebars, and it does fit in there quite nicely. It's been riding really well on the front of my bike. It's got cinch straps and Velcro fasteners, two different lengths of Velcro fasteners. It has 4 fasteners to kind of, so you can figure out how you're going to attach it to your handlebars. So here's the tent. It's a single person tent. They make a 2-person version of this tent, which I opted to get the single person version because I really wanted to go kind of lightweight, and I figured this is kind of a summer tent for me. I know in the winter when I do certain types of trips, I like to fit my backpack into the tent. Of course, you don't have a backpack on a bikepacking trip, but if it was winter, really, I'd probably pull my saddlebags off and try to put them in here and stuff. And it is a little big for a 1-person tent. There's this little extra space here, and this is a wide pad, by the way. It's a 25-inch pad, yet there's still a good 10 inches there for extra, just stuff that you want right beside you. And it kind of goes on down here at the midsection. It's probably 8 inches, and by the time you get to the bottom down there, my 25-inch pad basically goes from edge to edge. Oh, and there's this kind of cool loft here. This is really quite large. It's hard to probably tell in the video, but a helmet would fit in there really well. But you could fit whatever you wanted to in there. And they have lots of little tags. There's actually 3 pockets up here, one here, and one here, and all those little tags to tie things off. There. There's like 1, 2, 3. I can't even count all the tags. And there's another pocket there. That's really the only lower pocket, just that one. But it's a good interior. I've really been surprised. I've had 1-person tents before that I just didn't like because they were so small. But this has this cross beam up here that really widens out the top of the tent, and a little extra floor space, and makes it feel really roomy for a single-person tent. So I think it's great for a summer or even spring and fall tent, just not like snow camping kind of tent. It's got these 2 zippers, one that goes left and right, and the other that goes up and down. And I've heard some people say they didn't like the zipper, like they wanted the type that goes one zipper would go all the way around. You would actually still have 2, but and I can't remember exactly what their thinking was on why they didn't like this setup, but I've been using this and I like it. I just don't see the problem with it. The door hangs off, even if you don't do any securing, it hangs off to the side well enough to get in and out. So I've been liking the door just fine. And then the fly, when it's dew on it, you just flap it over and it stays. But of course, it's got all the toggles, and these are actually pretty cool toggles. for when you do want to put the fly up with the toggles. They work really well. I've actually only used this one toggle. These two are if you want to, there's another zipper right here that is like you can roll up this whole door. And I haven't done that. I've only swung the door off to the side. And in reality, you know, for a lightweight tent, I would just prefer they didn't have this zipper here, because that would probably shave an ounce or so off the tent and reduce the stuffing size of the tent. So I wish they didn't have that, really. But that's the only negative thing I could say about the tent. Everything else I like a lot. I like, I got it for a few reasons. One is the color, in case I do some stealth camping. Two is the length of the poles. The poles go into this bag, and they're basically about a foot wide. I think they might even be a little less than that, but somewhere in that ballpark. They would fit inside here if I wanted to put them in here. They fit in between the handlebars. They would probably fit in my panniers if I wanted to. There's a little vent right here, and I think ventilation wise, it's standard. I like it so far. It seems pretty good, and it has been wet here. I mean, the weather is really nice, but we're getting a lot of dew in the morning because it's actually March. It's kind of winter camping in the Willamette Valley. Another thing I want to point out is I really do like the stakes that come with the tent. It's kind of rare that I'm impressed with stakes, but I'll just pull this one out and show it to you. It's kind of a different design. It's like a I-beam kind of design, and it's a little shorter than some stakes. I would say that's about 6 inches long or something. And I weighed them, and they're actually real light. The lightest tents, normally the lightest stakes are 10 grams, 10 or 11 grams, and I think these were like 8 or 9 grams each. So they are a couple grams lighter than your average ultralight stake, without going to titanium or something. Another interesting thing is this stake out on the side here. There's actually room. It's almost like another vestibule over here, and I have been putting my helmet and my shoes, and then I put my tent bag over here. So I put a few items over on this side under the fly to protect them. And that's great to have that extra storage. I could probably show you that from the inside. Because there's actually one thing, I think if they took that zipper off the side, but in here really, see there's my stuff in that's about a foot at its peak, but it maintains pretty well. I think it would be cool if they had a little zipper here, like even just a little, not one to go through, but just a little like 10-inch zipper here, just to reach out there and grab things from that. It would be kind of cool. But oh, and I made my own fly. Floor. What do you call those? I forget what goes underneath the tent. But anyways, I just cut it basically to the specs of the one you could buy. And so mine weighs like 3.5 ounces, and the one that you can buy for this tent weighs, I think, 6 ounces. So mine's about 2.5 ounces less, because there's no hardware associated with it, and there's no seam on the edge. It's just cut fabric, because I have some bulk fabric that I can use, and you can order fabric from Ripstop by the roll. The vestibule's been great here. I'm able to fit everything I want under here for a summer trip, or nice weather winter trip. It's been really good. Zippers seem nice. The little clamps that hold everything, just you know, it all goes really well. These things click into place nicely. Trying to do it one-handed is a challenge. But reflective stuff, you know, I kind of wish they didn't do that, reflective stuff. There's some there, and there's some here on these tie-outs. And I wish they didn't do it because it's a, you know, it's a muted color tint. And why not just have it really be muted all the way around all the time? Because I think part of the attractiveness of this is potentially stealth camping. Oh, and the other, so there was three things: the color, the length of the poles, and the other thing, that reason really I got this tent as well, is that it is basically a freestanding tent. Four of the stakes are the corners, and then there's a stake basically for this vestibule, which really you don't have access to other than just reaching underneath it, and obviously a stake for the main vestibule, and then also a stake there to help with ventilation at the head end of the tent. It's funny, they have another tie out here to tie out the foot end of the tent, but they don't give you a stake for that. It's kind of funny. So and of course there's not enough stakes to do the tie out points, which there's really only two of them, one here and one here, up by the head end of the tent. There's no other tie out points on the fly, so that's interesting. But I get, you know, I mean, not that the tent feels really unstable. It's pretty stout. You know, it's, like I said, it's a freestanding tent. You've got this, I guess you call it kind of an I-beam construction. You've got a pole that comes up here to a hub, a pole that comes up here to a hub, and then a single pole that shoots over the top and does the exact same thing on the other side, but in a smaller fashion. It comes down here, it has a short leg there and a short leg there, and then of course there's the, I don't know what you call it, a brow pole across the top that really gives you the interior space in the tent. And you can see this was like a feature they did for bike packing. They say, let's put this cord up here. They said you could run clothes in here to dry them out. I don't do that because really it's wet up here usually at night with dew. The only time that would work would be during the day, but during the day I'm on the bike. So but yeah, I think it's a great tent. It's like a little over 2 pounds, I think, and it's freestanding. What else is there to talk about? I think that's mostly it. So that's my look at the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL1 Bikepack tent.